Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with layout 5 for how to kill a kit with style. So this is another paper issues challenge. This one is called Dads Are Rad. And we were just supposed to do a scrapbook page of a dad, father figure, anything like that. I thought this was a perfect opportunity to do this photo of Bennet and Brandon, who's his daddy. With Father's Day coming up, I just thought it was so perfect, and the colors in this photo go so great with this collection. So I'm really glad I got to it while I had it. Right away, I see these pocket cards. I haven't used a whole lot of the pocket cards in this collection yet, and I remembered seeing these ABC cards, and with it being a Bennet page, this is going in Bennet's album, I really thought it was appropriate. It kind of reminded me of those alphabet wooden blocks that, you know, babies can play with. Of course, Bennet's too young for that, but I thought it was so perfect for a baby page, so I'm going to just stack them up along the left side of the page. I thought that was a really cool detail. So I'm just gluing all of those together, and they're going to get glued down. I did gut that one strip of the background paper just because this is going to be covering it all anyways. So I just did use a scrap piece of black paper to finish off that 12 by 12 to have those cards glued down on. But I'm going to gut this gingham piece. This is going to be my frame for the photo, and that's going to be how I'm starting my layers. There aren't a whole lot of papery layers on this one, but I did try and play a lot more with the embellishment. And even the embellishments, I didn't do a whole lot of layering. It's more of a deconstructed scatter of embellishments, which I think is cool. I usually don't do this style of embellishing, so I thought it was kind of neat to do something a little different. I love this card that says "I love you like biscuits and gravy," but I didn't get it on here. I'm really hoping I can at some time this month because it just makes me laugh. That's not something I've ever said. It's not a sentiment I'm familiar with. But I think it's so funny, and so I get it. I really want to get it on a page at some point, but again, not on this one. I'm going to stagger this scrap from the last page and offset it a little bit. I think that adds a little bit of interest. I do want to pull in some of these wood grain embellishment pieces. I don't think I've used any this month so far, and this is layout 5. So I did want to get quite a few of them on this page. I did do 2 of the houses and both hearts. Along the A and the C. I think that's a really nice detail. In my mind, I'm already kind of thinking this is kind of part of a visual triangle, and then I just want to make sure that I bring that wood into a third area on the opposite side of the page, on the opposite side of the photo, so that it kind of triangulates the focal point. But for right now, I'm just trying to get my layers together. I keep trying to add more paper layers. But it ends up distracting. I don't know if it was the plaid background or if it was because it was coming off of the gingham, but I decided I just didn't need it, really. I did decide to take some washi tape and do some borders along the right side of these letters. I thought that was a cool border piece to kind of separate that with the rest of the page. I did do this torn detail, which I think looks super cool, especially with this wider washi. You have a good amount of room to do this torn detail. So I'm going to layer up the gingham washi, and then I'm also going to use the black washi as a little border against that, and I think that adds a really cool detail. I do think about using another branding strip. I think I've used a branding strip on every page so far, but it does not make it on this one, which is okay. I know my last 4 layouts, I am kind of doing the style I love, but I was trying to do something a little different with this one just because I know layout 1 and 2 kind of look similar, layout 3 and 4 kind of look similar. So I wanted to make sure I did something different with this one. I did go ahead and commit to punching out all of these chipboard pieces. I love when they're on these sheets just because you can really see everything all at once. But I use things a lot easier when they're separate, and I can play around with positioning, lay them on the page, take them off the page, move them around. Sometimes I don't use things as easily as I would if they're all laid out, especially when they're in these sheets, because I'm worried if I punch it out and don't use it, like I don't want it just loose and not with everything. So I just committed. I punched everything out. They're gonna go with the die cut, so everything's loose, everything can play around, and I think that will make it a lot easier going out with getting me to use these things. I did really like this. This is our Happy Place chipboard sentiment. I did layer it over one of the die cut labels, and I'm just trying to start scattering things along the right side of the photo. With the ABC on the left side, I wanted some interest on the right side of the photo, just so the picture is between the center of those. So I am gonna start scattering things down that edge. I am gonna just go ahead and get the layers down. Again, I'm gutting what's behind the photo. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this stuff down. I'm liking how this is looking. I just need a little bit more, so I'm just gonna start stacking things up. I have this you, this us, I have this little star. I like it that they're both pulling in some more greens, some more blacks. I just think that's super sweet. I'm going to go ahead and gut the background so I can stick all of these down. With all of these things hanging off the edge of the photo, I wanted some stability and to be able to actually commit and stick them down. But first I needed to put my photo down, so I'm just doing that really quickly. Again, I'm pulling in some more black tags. I have a lot of these black tags. They're just from Tuesday Mornings. I think they were from the DIY shop. I think they're called the chalkboard tags, but it's just, you know, black cardstock. But I think they look really cool with this collection. Again, this black really adds a pop and some boldness. There can be a lot going on with all the different ginghams and plaids and all that kind of pattern. So adding these pops and chunks of black, I think, really help your eye focus on something. I'm pulling in these chipboard pieces again. I thought I might go with, there's 2 hearts on here, so I figured it with using that chipboard star. Sorry, I said hearts, didn't I? Stars. I figured I could use the stars over here as well. So I put them in 2 separate areas at this point, but I do end up moving them together just so they aren't so scattered. Just because the house is like, it's a house and a heart, and that's a house and a heart, and then the 2 stars are separate, and it looked weird to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the stars together so they're in a cluster of 2 as well. But I did really like this tag idea. So I did pull in a few scraps of tags and made them into more tags, and I'm just going to layer 3 of them up. I've never done this before. I think I'm a little bit inspired by the Secret Not Secret Kit Club had a challenge to use 10 tags on one layout, and I never got around to it, but there are a lot of people who did a lot of cool layouts. You doing this like tag border down the side of the page, just layering up a bunch of tags, and I think it looked really cool. Of course, I'm only using 3, but I think that's where that inspiration came from, just having this little uneven border of black tags. It's also cool because it lets everything that's hanging off the photo have somewhere to rest, so it's just not hanging out in open space. I'm trying to figure out if I want to use one of the chipboard words, but I decided not to. This doesn't really have a title. I guess you could say it was "This is our happy place" or the ABC, whichever. It's a pretty, you know, self-explanatory picture. It's Bennet and his dad. So this isn't Father's Day yet, so I didn't want to title it Father's Day or anything like that because this was nowhere near Father's Day. So I didn't think it really needed any more than what I already put on it. I did snip one of those magnet banners in half to use one of the pieces to start a little bannery cluster. I just used the black and cream banner with a few stickers from the planner sheets. But I think that adds just a perfect touch, just this nice little scatter of embellishment down the right side of the photo. I do take 3 brads and I put those in 3 areas on the right side. I really like the touch that adds. And I think all I have left is stitching, I think. I did use some photo corners from the planner sheet. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm gonna go ahead and just do 1 row of cross stitching down the other side of the photo, and I think we're done. So I sped this part up a lot because I know you guys might be sick of seeing me stitch. Ta-da, done, super fast. So here are the close-ups. This one is so sweet. I love this picture of Bennet and Brandon. They are so stinking cute. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.